Hello and welcome to the Roosevelt National Forest. My name is Brennan.
I'm Sammy.
And I'm Olivia. And today we're going to be your tour guides through the Roosevelt National Forest. We're going to be talking about the history and the establishment,
Some threats to the park, including direct and indirect threats and underlying causes.
As well as management plans to protect this forest.
Let's get started.
Roosevelt's history and establishment dates all the way back to May 22, 1902. It was originally established as part of the Medicine Bow Forest Reserve, but renamed the first Colorado National Forest in 1910. In 1932, to honor President Theodore Roosevelt, Herbert Hoover changed its name to Roosevelt National Forest.
So Roosevelt National Forest is listed as an IUCN Category 6 protected area, which means it's managed extractive use. So they allow you to cut down trees within like a certain limit. You're allowed to take fish, you're allowed to camp in certain areas. Their ultimate goal is to just make sure that the forest is sustainably used and that it's around for future generations. The biggest thing is that it's open to the public, so you have recreation as a big stakeholder. You've got anglers, you've got hikers, campers, as well as other people just doing their own thing, just traveling, tourism.
The history of humans on this land dates way further back than just when the settlers came. This land was predominantly Ute and Arapaho territory, but other tribes such as Cheyenne, Kiowa, Apache, Comanche, Pawnee, Lakota, and Shoshone were known to frequent this area. There were people here prior to European settlement, but once the settlers got here, this land was home to fur trappers, homesteaders, livestock ranchers, tie hackers, loggers, miners, and recreationalists.
Other key partners have included the Governor's Energy Office, the Colorado State Forest Service, Colorado State Parks, Colorado State University in Fort Collins, as well as Boulder and Larimer counties. Private landowners have also been stakeholders in this process.
Oh, hey, Sammy.
Oh, hey, Brennan, didn't see you there.
So what are some of the threats associated with this forest?
Yeah, so there's a lot of overuse from timber harvesting and recreational uses. And as you can see around me, one of the major threats is wildfire. Direct threats include wildfires, like the High Park Fire of 2012, which burned more than 87,000 acres west of Fort Collins, including the northern part of the forest. The social and environmental impacts have been and will continue to be felt for years. Not all fire is bad for the environment, but better management is needed to understand fire behavior and effects. We have seen past fire suppression alter the fuel profile of the forest and lead to greater flammability and damage. Timber harvesting is an area of concern for the forest as well, albeit its decline over the years. Harvesting helps meet the demands of local communities for products like lumber, fuel wood, and Christmas trees, and in pest eradication. But all this has negative effects on timber stand composition, structure, and density. Recreation issues greatly impact forest resources like wildlife habitat and water quality, particularly from overuse. Infrastructure developments like roads and the use of on-road and off-road vehicles leads to wildlife conflicts and soil and watershed damage potential. Roosevelt National Forest has moved toward managing developed recreation through the issuance of permits for activities like horseback riding, hunting, fishing, river rafting, snowmobiling, and mountain biking. Major infestations of spruce beetle, mountain pine beetle, and the western spruce budworm have caused irreparable damage over large areas of the forest. Conifers including spruce, ponderosa pine, lodgepole pine, and Douglas fir are particularly impacted. The earliest known beetle outbreak occurred on the White River Plateau in the early 1700s, and the most severe outbreak ever recorded occurred in the 1940s. Many of the spruce killed in the 1940s remain standing today, and the outbreak severity is still evident due to the shift in species composition from 90% spruce and 10% fir to 20% spruce and 80% fir. In the years following outbreaks, the probability of higher intensity fires increases because dead trees fall to the ground and add to the surface fuel loading. Falling trees also create hazards for recreationists and increase trail and campground maintenance expenditures. Insect populations have thrived largely because of changes in natural succession caused by forest fire suppression. Fires are a necessary tool for management because they sanitize infested stands by wiping out the parasite when the host tree is killed. Communities who live near the forest, however, tend to be pro-fire suppression, which is only a natural response given the property damage inflicted by the High Park fire and others. Here we see that the issue has become more prominent as a result of many small development and management decisions over time. Similarly, the incomplete removal of infected trees during timber harvesting has also increased insect numbers. Timber harvesting is a last resort management tool because of the way it is perceived by people. For these reasons, community attitudes and values are an underlying cause that helps drive parasite outbreaks. Infected areas are not treated as successfully as they could be. Effective community education is an important management principle that can be used to raise awareness of these issues and what contributes to them. In surrounding areas, we see that milder temperatures over the past 10 years, fire suppression, the lack of targeted timber harvesting, and the movement of insects from areas outside the forest to inside are indirect threats. With this in mind, it is important that protected areas are managed as part of a community effort to achieve conservation outcomes at a landscape level. Roosevelt National Forest is one relatively small area amongst many where trees are dying from pest epidemics. The task is enormous and will require more collaboration between stakeholders in various protected areas.
We hope you enjoyed your time today learning about the Roosevelt National Forest. Thank you for learning about the history,
The threats.
And the management of this protected area.
Remember to always put out your campfires, and we hope that you come back.
Have fun.